Hey y'all, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're getting ready for Thanksgiving and we'll be baking up some homemade chocolate and coconut meringue pies and also a pumpkin pie with some whipped cream. So let's get busy. We got a lot to do. The first thing we need to do is get our pie crust made and baked. And what we'll need for that is 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup of Crisco, 3/4 cup of butter, 1 beaten egg, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and about 5 tablespoons of ice water. Today I'm using my food processor to mix up the pie dough, but it is not required. If you just have a big bowl and a pastry knife, that's really all you need. To the food processor bowl, we're going to add our flour, salt, butter, and Crisco, and we're going to pulse that until it resembles the size of small to medium-sized gravel, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a minute. Now you want to add your beaten egg and your white vinegar, and you're going to pulse it just a few times before you start adding in your ice water. And you just want to add that ice water in 1 tablespoon at a time. Stop and kind of look at your dough until it finally starts coming together. This is what your pie crust dough should look like. When you pinch it, it should stick together, but it should be dry enough that it doesn't stick to your fingers. You don't want a really sticky dough. Here, I'm just showing you that you can still see pretty good sized chunks of butter in the dough, and that is exactly what you want. That's going to create a nice flaky crust. After you get your dough poured onto your lightly floured surface, you want to form it into one big ball before dividing it into 2. Then you want to wrap it up really tightly in cellophane and store it in your refrigerator for at least 2 to 3 hours. If you're going to put it in the freezer, though, 30 minutes should be good enough. There's lots of ways to form the edges of your crust. I like just pinching it between my fingers. And also after that, you just want to take a fork and pierce the bottom of the crust several times so that it doesn't form bubbles on the bottom of your pie dish. Before we get started on the pie filling, let's go ahead and make the meringue so it'll be ready when the filling is hot. We can just spread it on top. The pie filling recipe called for 4 egg yolks, so I'm saving the whites from that for the meringue. And then I'm also going to add in 1/2 cup of egg whites that are pasteurized that I purchased from the store. And that's going to give it a much taller meringue and I think a much more beautiful pie. When it comes to mixing up your meringues, you really cannot beat an electric mixer. They really make the best meringues. So you'll see that I added in the 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And once it starts getting frothy, I'm going to very slowly add in about 1/2 cup of sugar. You can tell that the meringue is done here. It is so pretty and glossy, and when you lift your beater out, it forms nice stiff peaks. For the coconut cream filling, you're going to need 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3 cups of 1/2 and 1/2, 4 egg yolks, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and also 1 cup of shredded coconut. You're going to add all ingredients except for the coconut over medium heat, and then you start whisking, and you do not stop whisking. It's very important. If you stop whisking, your eggs are going to turn into scrambled eggs. As you can see, the cream filling is nice and thick, and it's time to add in that coconut and just give it a good stir. If you'll remember, we have already pre-baked the pie crust for this coconut cream pie. So we're going to go ahead and spread that in, and then we're going to top it with the meringue that we made earlier as well. When adding your meringue, make sure that your meringue comes in contact with your pie crust all the way around. Make sure there are no little holes. Even little small pinholes can cause your meringue to shrink up while it bakes. Now we're just going to sprinkle a little bit or a lot of coconut over your meringue, just however you like it. And then you're going to put it into a preheated 350-degree oven for 25 minutes. Now you may want to stop about halfway through and rotate your pie around so it cooks the meringue evenly. Okay, 1 down and 2 to go. Let's get this chocolate pie going. You're going to want to pierce the bottom of this crust with a fork, and then you're going to put it into a preheated 375-degree oven for about 15 minutes before you ever put the filling in. For the chocolate pie filling, you're going to need 1 cup of sugar, 3 heaping tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 squares of unsweetened chocolate finely chopped, 2 cups of half and half, 3 egg yolks, 2 tablespoons of butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. To your saucepan over medium-high heat, you're going to add your half and half egg yolks, salt, cornstarch, and sugar. You're going to mix that up a little bit, and then you're going to add your chopped up unsweetened chocolate. And once again, it's very important that you whisk this continuously while it's cooking. So I've been baking these pies for a really long time, so it's not uncommon to see me at the stove with a chocolate pie going on one side and a coconut pie going on the other side, and with my meringue going to the right of that, and everything sort of going all together. So I don't expect you to do this. This is just the way I've learned to do it. Once your chocolate pie filling is nice and thick, you want to turn off the heat underneath and add your vanilla and butter. Once you get that mixed up again, you're ready to pour it into your pre-baked pie shell. Very important here, make sure you leave a little bit of that chocolate left on your spatula and in the pan also, because that is really good for licking later. Okay, so we're just going to add in our meringue. Same rules, make sure that your meringue touches your pie crust all the way around. No holes, no nothing, just make sure it all touches, and then you can pile up the rest of it and make it pretty. Now, isn't that a sight to behold? Yes, ma'am, that looks good. Now she just needs to go into a preheated 350-degree oven for 25 minutes. For our next recipe, we're going to need 1.5 cups of pureed pumpkin, 4 eggs, 1/2 cup of real maple syrup, 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar, 1 cup of half and half, 1 heaping tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right, let's finish strong with this pumpkin pie. This is a new recipe for me, so I'm super excited to try it with the maple syrup included. So the only difference this time, we are not going to be pre-baking this pie crust. It's going to bake with the pie. I'm using my last bit of pie dough there just to make some little pumpkin cutouts to garnish the pumpkin pie with. I just thought that would be cute, and I had extra pie dough left, so we'll try this. Just doing a quick egg wash on the little pumpkins before they go in the oven to help them brown. Doesn't get much easier than a pumpkin pie. You're pretty much just going to add all the ingredients and mix well before adding it to your pie crust. This is going to go into a 400-degree preheated oven for 15 minutes. Then you're going to want to stop and take out the little pumpkin pieces if you're choosing to do that. If not, go ahead and just reduce your heat to 350 and cook for an additional 40 minutes or until the middle of the pie isn't jiggly anymore. I thought since our pumpkin pie recipe had maple syrup in it, we would use that same maple syrup to sweeten our whipped cream here, just to see. I've never made it that way. It actually turned out really good. This is the maple syrup I used, and it's infused with vanilla beans, and it's delicious. So anyway, I used 1 cup of whipping cream to 1/8 of a cup of the maple syrup. And it turned out fantastic. Now, it doesn't have a really strong maple flavor to it, but it's still very good. There we have it, y'all. I just wanted to take a moment and let each and every one of you know how grateful I am for you in the season of Thanksgiving. I definitely have appreciated all of your encouragement, and it's been fun. So y'all have a very happy Thanksgiving from our house to yours.